I guess it's not going to tell me again. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Lisa Twilley. I'm the director of the Women's Business Center here at Maryland Capital Enterprises. And thank you guys for joining us today. Just to give you a little information about us, we're a nonprofit here in Salisbury. And our service area, we cover all the entire Eastern Shore of Maryland, Baltimore City, Baltimore County, and Anne Arundel County. And we assist entrepreneurs that are getting started in business, or if you're already in business and trying to expand. We do business consulting, marketing consulting, training workshops such as this. And we also do small business loans. So I'm going to put my information in the chat. And if you need any assistance from me, please feel free to reach out. But today we have Jessica Koch. She's the owner of Jessica Koch Consulting. And she, oh my gosh, she's like a jack of many trades. So I'm going to let her tell you more about herself and get started. So thank you, Jessica, for doing this for us today. She volunteers many hours for the Women's Business Center and MCE, and we appreciate her so much. So thank you, Jessica.
You're welcome. My pleasure. I love working with you, and I love working with the women that I get to consult also sometimes, and that's a lot of fun. So okay, so I am Jessica Koch. I am the Italian mother of 7, and I'll give you my little 30-second commercial. I have been speaking nationally for about 25 years, internationally for 4. I do own my own consulting firm. We do sales and marketing consulting, LinkedIn and social media training, and we have a virtual assistant membership program division where we have almost 60 virtual assistants globally that help our clients from all over the world. We have clients in Norway and Australia and UK and Canada and Jamaica. So we are a global company, which is kind of exciting. I do lots of also consulting on business cost savings and how to work with the government and how to get grants. And so I really work well with the Women's Business Center and with Lisa and her team because we are just so collaborative and complementary on how we support businesses. And today we're going to talk about e-commerce. And so I tried to structure this class in a way that we can cover if you're thinking about starting an e-commerce and you would like to put something online, but you haven't figured out what that is yet, as well as if you're already there, right? So what are some things that you should really know about if you already have a product or a service, or you've already figured out what your direction is, and maybe you're even already selling some things online. So this class is going to be valuable to you for all of the people in all of those different stages. Just kind of to give you a little bit of what to expect from that perspective. And I am going to share.
Also, Veronica's asking, what was the name of your podcast for nonprofits?
Yeah, I put it in the chat. It's not my podcast. I'm being
I'm sorry.
And I did put that in the chat. Did you see it?
I do now. I'm blind as a bat today.
That's okay. All right. So you should see my article here, and I'll see if I can share my screen and put something in the chat. How talented am I? Let's see. Some days I'm pretty talented. Let's see, where's the chat hiding? There it is. Okay, so this is the link to this article. This is kind of an outline of your notes for today. So what I find to do, so I'm going to give you a couple of, I'm all about saving time. So like I said, I'm the Italian mother of 7, right? We have to outsource, leverage time, leverage our efforts. So if you were going to be making a presentation, if you're a subject matter expert on something and you were going to share about something, one of my tips is create an article on LinkedIn. I mean, I sometimes will create a presentation in Canva that's similar to a PowerPoint, but often I really like using, especially if I'm going to be going into lots of links and showing live interaction like I am today on different sites and resources, I create an article on LinkedIn and then use that as my share and my guide. And then I'm able to give that to the class as kind of the notes, right? And some of the links and some of the resources are already in there, so you don't have to do all of that yourself. So e-commerce, we are really talking about beginners, a beginner's look here. Can everybody in the chat that's taking the class what is, if you have what you'd like to sell, or what industry you're in, or what business you're in, or what's your knowledge or expertise, if you could put that in the chat, that would be super helpful. I would love to know what you're trying, because then I can steer some of this really specific to you. Okay, so candles are awesome, and you make those yourself. They're not made through another company. They're made through you. Awesome. That is wonderful. Courses. I love knowledge. Knowledge base is lots of fun. So the interesting thing about anyone who has a product or service that's a physical product, and knowledge also has knowledge, right? So like the landscaping services and the candles, you guys also have knowledge you can share, because you can talk about the how-to and create courses and classes and trainings and ebooks and other things that are purchasable separate from the physical candle itself. Same with landscaping. Landscaping, you want to attract people who care about that, right? So teaching people how to look at their region, the best plants for them. You can create ebooks and guides and tips that can become collateral. It can even become products that you sell for $7 or $27 on your site, right? Information on how to care for plants in this specific reason, or what plants thrive, or what plants thrive off each other. What plants do you use to keep the good bugs coming and the bad bugs away, right? You want to avoid certain kinds of bugs, and all those different things. So restaurant is good. I love an online cooking show, and a recipe book is an immediate, easy one to come up with. And you could put a book with video courses connected with each recipe. And this is a product that they can click and buy. And I do a lot of marketing and work with restaurants. And so some of the things we're going to cover will be really good for restaurants. Notary and any kind of service related item is also good. And believe it or not, you have knowledge there, right? You have knowledge of what was your journey to become a notary. That could be a $7 workbook or a little mini class or information guide. Also, what things should they be using a notary for? Most people don't know that, right? And so an educational piece, and that could be just a blog or something to draw people to you. But the other interesting thing about that is, if I were a notary, I would never be a notary without also reach out to me, because I'm personally connected to a referral network where you can actually get paid just for making introductions from the legal perspective. So if you know someone who needs a document written up or something legally pulled together, you could actually be making revenue and just making introductions and then still getting the notary business. So you always want to think about really successful people, and people who are millionaires have multiple streams of revenue. So whatever their passion or their focus is, right? So we looked at all these different things that you guys put in the chat, and then you heard me take each one of them, and I gave you at least 3 to 5 other revenue streams that you could be creating from what you're doing, right, already. So if you have just knowledge and online courses, you can add actual products, right? So I know a lot of coaches and teachers and consultants and trainers now are coming up with, I'm an Italian, so I talk a lot. And with being the mother of 7, I have my own quotes, because this is what mama always says, right? Okay. So I have one that I'm very well known for in the business community. I have a couple actually that have been quoted. I've actually been featured in some books in our region, the Washington, D.C. metro region, as a top executive in this area. The book is a hardback book. I was interviewed. I had to be nominated, selected, interviewed, a chapter built about me, and it's placed in all these different universities. I'm not saying all that to brag, but I'm saying that my quotes are actually places now, like the Jessica Koch quotes, but yours can be too, right? So one for, I think, June, were you the candles? Were you the one that's or maybe I'm getting the people wrong. So anyway, whoever had the candles, one of your quotes could be, give yourself the gift of a little light every day, right? And because a candle is just it just is a soothing effect to your space and to your environment and things like that. And I have now is later sooner, so do it now, right? Because I'm a business coach and consultant, and my kids all used to say, when I say, hey, go clean your room or do your homework, they say, oh, Mom, I'll do it later. So I used to say, now is later sooner. So go do that now. And so that's how that became my quote. I also have people matter most, right? And in the breakdown of why we're here on this planet, in my opinion, in the universe, why do you make candles? Why do you teach classes? Why do you teach cooking classes and have a restaurant? It's because people matter most. People need a wonderful place to share a meal and to celebrate and to support one another. People need candles are a part of people's lives and experiences and communities and celebrations. We have birthday candles on our cakes. We do a candle with our nativity and sing happy birthday to Jesus at Christmas. Hanukkah people have candles in their lives. The candles and scents and senses and our visual have a power. Knowledge, we love to learn, and as human beings, why else would you teach whatever great things you're teaching as far as knowledge and courses, as if it wasn't to value and lift the value of an individual's lives, right? So people matter most. That's one of my quotes. But what I'm saying to you is, if you have these things, even the landscaper, you can create beautiful like canvas bags with some of the beautiful pictures of the gardens you've created, or the flowers and the things that you use the most for this region, right? Because landscaping, things are very regional as far as what grows well here and what's beautiful, right? And just leveraging off that beauty. So you can have journals and coffee mugs and canvas bags and knowledge about, and all these things are things you can sell in addition to your landscaping. And why would you want to do that? It doesn't dilute or distract your focus. What it does is it has other ways for you to reach people, to draw you into your main service, right? It draws them back to what it is you really do. So if I am out and about carrying my beautiful canvas bag that was printed with these beautiful azalea bushes on it from this landscaper I got, and someone says, oh my God, I love your bag. And you're saying, you're never going to believe where I got it. I was on this landscaping site, or my friends referred me, and I saw it online, and I saw it on the Facebook page link. I could buy it on their Facebook page of the landscaping company. And I just loved it. I'm buying one for my mother for Mother's Day too, because I use it and carry it everywhere. And everyone who sees it compliments me. So then you become a part of people's lives to help them with their marketing, right? So we haven't even started the class, and just the conversation of what you're doing is so valuable for you guys to think about. All right, so e-commerce. Let's actually get into class, because obviously can this girl talk? All right. Any questions so far? Because I'm going to keep going. Lisa, you laughing at me?
I am laughing at you. Keep on going, girl. You're doing great.
All right. So some of the definition, there's a lot of confusion about what e-commerce is. Really, it's, the buying and selling goods over the internet, in addition to your brick and mortar and your space. Now, this thing can include tablets and smartphones. And why do we want to talk about some of the obvious things here? Is because anything you're designing, you always want to be your own best tester, and have some of your family and friends be your own best tester of customer experience. So anything you do begin to build out in your e-commerce space, you're going to want to make sure it's very mobile and tablet friendly. And what is the experience when they go to shop with you on their computer, their tablet, or their phone, right? And what did they like and what they didn't like, right? So maybe they had to put too much information in order to actually make the purchase. Don't be your own worst enemy about getting someone through the gate to hand you money. If you make it too hard for them to hand you money, sometimes you can lose the sale. So make sure you're testing that experience on the different devices, and having people, even if you create a coupon code so it's free, so that you can have people test what it's like to go all the way through the shopping experience with you. This is super important. Okay, so some of the things I want to talk about in our session here, and I know we only have so much time, but we're going to talk about, choosing your niche and naming your business just briefly, because some of you guys have already done that, but it's still a good conversation to have, because nothing is in stone. Just because you have your name now doesn't mean people don't rebrand all the time. I mean, look at Facebook. Facebook is rebranding to the Meta world, right? And they're becoming, slowly people are starting to see the synchronization of the two, right? And also talking about doing things right. And if you haven't set them up correctly, don't panic, you still can. And important things, this is what you really want to get your appointment and meet with Lisa and her team with, because they're going to be able to help make sure that you are thinking about things like what kind of licenses and permits might be required for this, and what are some of the business legal pieces that you might need, and what are some of the funding that might need to be there, right? We're also going to look at choosing platforms and the good, the bad, and the ugly of what kinds of different platforms that you're on. And don't panic if you're already on one, you can change your mind. Nothing is permanent, right? And then also about, so I talked about and I might have overwhelmed my, the restaurant owner and my landscaper on here already with, oh, and you can build this educational piece and this knowledge piece. Well, I'm going to show you how to source some of those pieces already kind of done for you, and you just have to tweak them, right? So not having to start from scratch, but that you still own the rights to them. So that's a really exciting thing that we're going to talk about. Pricing is important, because whenever I price something, I think about a lot of factors, right? And so we're going to go through some of the factors of what you want for pricing. And I don't think anyone should go to the online space of marketing anything or creating and selling anything without thinking about an affiliate program. And that ties right into pricing, because you want to make sure there's a cushion in there so that you can share and give with others, so that you can have an army of salespeople without paying an army of salespeople, right? You're only paying them based on sales and results. So we're going to talk about affiliate programs. We're also going to talk, as much as time will allow, about marketing, because here's the deal. Your candles are beautiful, and I'm sure they smell great, and they're pretty colors, and they're fabulous. But if you don't sell one, you got nothing. You can have a fancy store, and you can have all the technology and all the website and all the things, but without marketing and without
yeah,
sales.
I just wanted to make sure, initially when the initial date.
Oh, I think she's not talking to us. I thought she was asking a question. Okay. So without sales of your product, and without people finding your product to buy it, and without ways to drive them to that link and to that site and to that e-commerce space, guess what? You got nothing. You've got a nice address online, right? Okay. And then also creating an outline for your starting process, because we're covering a lot of things, and I'm just listening to myself, and I know that can sometimes feel really overwhelming for some people. And then also having a budget. So you need a plan and an outline to start, so you can take this one little step at a time and not feel like it's too much. All right. So first things first is, deciding what you're going to do. It sounds like a lot of you here have already decided. I found some fun articles, and I've included them in the link of, picking out and tracking what you might want to do. But interesting thing is, so just because you have your thing, just like restaurants and the candles and the landscaping, and I keep picking on those because they're at the top of my head. I'm sure there's a few more. I have to read again the chat, the other things, and knowledge base and things like that. Seeing what's trending and tying your trend to it. So like, what if animals are a big trend right now, or maybe you're really connected to the animal world? One of the things you could do is, so the restaurant person, you could do a recipe for an amazing, something for the an amazing dog treat for your pet lovers of your restaurant, because pet lovers are a big niche and they're a big market. So having that little extra thing for those people, for something that's trending or highly hot at the moment is also something to think about with your e-commerce space, right? Another example of that is if I have pets and dogs, how do I landscape, right? How do I make my yard as friendly for us as the humans as it is for my pet, right? And so that my pet's not going to destroy it. How do I make zones? How do I, there's a whole article or blog or even a mini training in things to think about when you're coming up with that, right? So thinking about what the trends are and finding your niche is super important. All right, so pricing, you really need to think about, and I would really have, even if you don't have a bookkeeper or hopefully you have a CPA who does your taxes, but if you don't, have a meeting with one, have a consultation, or again, go and meet with Lisa's team, because you do need to think about your overhead operating costs as a business, right? So if you're looking at online space, you're looking at that you have to buy the domain. And so there's usually an annual or a certain amount that's costing you yearly to hold the domain name of the website address that you have. The web platform, so the web where you're actually building your platform. Here's a big one: how you're receiving money. Whatever company takes money from you're processing your money through is taking money, right? So when I use QuickBooks for my invoicing, and by the time it gets to my bank account, there's a big chunk for processing gone. I have to think, excuse me, you have to think about that also. Sorry, I was going to try to mute myself, but it came too fast. You have to think about the processing of those funds. And then you need to think about things like, do you want a portion of your proceeds to go to a cause? Do you want there to be a few dollars for that affiliate program? So really, you have to really break down how are you going to make your money on this product. And then your own hours. Here's the one people miss the most, right? Are you paying yourself a salary? Have you made an official business, and are you paying yourself a salary? And what do you want to make hourly? Are you going to make $1 or $2 an hour? Because by the time you pay all the things and someone's bought one of your items, what is it down to for a profit for you personally? Like, what are you taking home? After you pay the government and for the product itself and for all the things online and for taking the money, and for the marketing to get that customer begin with, you really have to think carefully about your pricing. You also want to think about who your audience is. Who are you talking to? Who buys what you have, right? So, things like if you're a landscaper, first and foremost, you probably are talking to homeowners, because if I'm renting, I might, but probably rarely am investing in paying to have the area landscaped myself out of my pocket if I don't own that house, right? If I'm just renting. So you're talking to homeowners. And are you talking to the brand new homeowners that are right out of college, or you're talking to someone who's more seasoned and it's, a 2-income family and they're at a certain, level of money and threshold? So you have to think about how those people think, what they care about, what's in their regular routine and lifestyle, and what things they're looking for, and what's hot in your industry, what's innovative, what's creative. You really want to think about these things, because as you create an online space to promote it, you need to be featuring those things, so that we're also going to look at Google Trends here, so that you're following what's trending and so that you're getting found. SEO is huge, and SEO is everywhere. It's not just in your website. Okay. So SEO lives in many of the back office places of your website, but it also lives in your social media, in your Google business page, in your reviews on Facebook, in your, in your articles that you put and attach to your website, but also maybe an article you also build a version of that article on LinkedIn. You never want to have complete duplicates anywhere. You always want to have a version of, right? So it needs to have a slight alteration, because Google otherwise sees that it's spam. You really want to work with, even if you can just afford, once a quarter, 2 or 3 hours of consulting with someone who's an SEO expert. And maybe you can't afford to pay someone regularly to do your SEO, but maybe you can work with someone who would just reviews things and then gives you tips. Like, here's a great example. and I was going to review this when we look at websites, but there's lots of people who can build your website for you. And there's lots of website platforms that you can just use and build, like Wix and Shopify and all the places, right? But one of the things that I love about this particular site is they do an SEO review. And even if you don't do a review with this person, you should be looking at and thinking about the things that she lists in her, of course I clicked the wrong thing, but the things that she lists that are available in her SEO. See, so if you look at some of this stuff from an expert's perspective, first of all, you can get some budgeting prices, but you can see what's important. Right. And then you can, if you are really only on a small budget and you don't have the resources to hire someone, again, you could take the information from a page like this and Google them in YouTube one at a time. I mean, sometimes we either have time, we have more time than we have money, or we have money, we can hire someone else to do these things. But I want to empower you to say, well, how do I even begin to know about this kind of stuff, right? Well, you go where an expert is, you look at these terms and things, and then you can do some of your own research. YouTube is your friend, man. People teach you everything there, right? And so you can just take one little thing on the list, learn something about it, and apply it. And then maybe make it a goal to take one little SEO thing a month, look at it, look up a list like this, say, okay, today I'm going to look at my Google business profile. Go to YouTube, Google how to make my Google business profile work for me, and watch a few videos on it, right? But here's the thing, and I tell everyone this: if you're not there, they can't find you. So it means you need a presence, right? You need a presence in social media, you need a presence, you need a website, you need a e-commerce spot to be there. So you have to be there, right? So if you're not there, they can't find you. If you do not tell them, they cannot know. So you have to tell them all the things. It's your job to educate them about your restaurant, your cooking classes, your recipes, your candle, the benefits of candles, the benefits, not just beyond while your candles are great, but what are the benefits of candles overall in someone's space? How do they add to the meditation and peacefulness of your soul? And it's your job to educate them. How does landscaping change the value of your property and your house, right? How does it up level your resale value and how does it upsell the value of your life, right? Creating outdoor spaces, and how does it add on to the length of your life, right? Because sitting outside in nature and enjoying a well landscaped area is phenomenal for your life, right? And then you're an educator. No matter what you sell, whether you're cooking food for people or putting plants in the yard or sticking candles in their house or giving knowledge to their minds, you are an educator. But one of the things you first have to remember that you have to educate is, why does your product or service matter to their life? How is it going to up level the quality of their life, right? So you are an educator. So that's another really important thing to look at. So thinking about who you're talking to and bringing value to their life. We're talking about demographics. And then also, what moves these people to action? Like, remember I started to talk about, and the restaurant owner's probably laughing at me in her cooking show, and make a really good doggy treat, make a recipe for that. Well, that's one of the ways you really tie into the psychology of what makes the people following you buy, right? So people who are in a certain age bracket probably go out to eat more than others. I mean, because they have the resources and the funds to do it. They're not cooking for, small kids in a family. Maybe they're empty nesters. That empty nester age bracket probably may go out to eat a little more often than not. And guess what empty nesters get often to replace their children? They get pet children. So, so think about what's happening in the world of your ideal demographic, right? Because they got to replace their kids. And so they have a dog baby. I don't know. It's a thing that's happening. And also because of what's happened in our world with COVID in the last 2 years, that's been growing with more people pulling pets in because of the lack of human contact, the lack of in-person events, the lack of that touchy-feely. I keep leading back to that. And my family, if they knew I was doing that, would be laughing their butts off at me. Because I said I have 7 kids. kids, right? And I think pets are lovely for other people, but I love a lot of people who love pets. And so we have had multiple dogs and cats and rabbits and birds and hamsters and you name it, pretty much it's been through my house and we've had the pet of it. So they're not necessarily my thing. I think they're lovely. I'm fine without them too. But I'm telling you, it is definitely a crave. So think about and learn what people that are your ideal demographic, what matters to them? What is the thing they're into? What are their hobbies, their interests? What moves them to purchase something? And then also, where are you physically only able to send things somewhere yourself? So if you're making the candles yourself and you're needing to ship them, can you only ship them in the US? What does it cost to ship them globally? You know, if you're not sourcing from another provider that has the ability to source globally, you have to think about where your region is. Is it the world, or is it the United States, or is it a three state area or a 1 state area? And with the landscaper, and maybe even smaller. However, the interesting thing that I started with in the beginning of our class here was talking about what can you sell as a landscaper or a restaurant owner, and the restaurant owner is already hot to it because she's teaching cooking classes virtually. But once you start to enter something that can be purchased anywhere in the world, then you have taken your business to the next level. You've stopped limiting yourself to a full state or a tri-state or a tri-county area based on who you can serve, and you've suddenly made it something. A lot of real estate agents are finally catching on to this, and they're writing books and they're selling that book, and they're creating trainings on what do you need to ask a realtor, and how do you really start your first, and what loan programs are out there, and what questions should you be asking, and all of these things. And they're able to sell that knowledge anywhere in the world, even though they serve maybe 1 or 2 states or a certain region as far as being an actual realtor, right? So think about that as you're going too. One of the other things I really like is the Google's Trends tools. Now, these are some Google Trend alternatives and some keyword fun things to play with, but let's look at Google Trends itself, right? And so Christmas is coming, and I feel it already. I don't know about you, but I have 7 kids, okay? I feel Christmas is coming. I feel the pressure. I know it's only November 1st. We haven't had Thanksgiving yet, but if you're a mom, there's a lot you got to do to get ready for the holidays. And the race starts at the beginning of, for me, the race starts in September. I've already, you'd be impressed with how much I'm impressed with me. I've gotten most of the shopping done for almost the entire family already. Go me. But, you know, this is the season of the market. So if you have something, and almost everyone has something that could be gifted as a holiday gift, right? So even landscaping, as the weather gets colder and all of this comes, you know, so often adult children struggle. What do you get your parents? What do you get the people who have everything? What if they could just buy anything they want? They don't really need anything for you. What could you gift them, right? Maybe the landscaper also, another great idea would be to collaborate, if you don't already, if you don't own a nursery of yourself, or you don't wholesale resell plants yourself, maybe making a collaboration with a place like that, and then getting where you're making some of the revenue too. And you go back to all your customers and say, hey, the holidays are coming. You might not know what to get that someone special, but maybe you could get them a gift card for a beautiful plant. There's plants that grow through, you know, indoor plants that grow for the holidays, or all these things. So now you've just stretched your revenue stream, right? And you pulled yourself into what's relevant at the moment, which is the holiday season, right? But it's interesting to see when you come into Google Trends, it helps you understand what people are searching. Really, ultimately, that's what this tool is for. And again, I mean, I don't have a lot of time with you. Okay, we don't have a lot of time to go through all this. You can watch, a ton of YouTube videos on Google Trends on what information to look for, what is the information that it's really giving you, how you can narrow it down to your personal region or location, your state. Do you want to know what's being searched globally? Do you want to know what's being searched throughout the United States or within your state? And then what are some other important topics? And these are important because as you build an online store, if you already have an online store in a space, you want to think about other things you should be putting as far as keywords and topics and how to stay relevant. And these are other terms that they suggest that you could be looking for, right? So the other thing is, and then it gives you ideas to break it down further, because I saw kids' Christmas gifts for 2022. You also can do that for like infants. You can also do that for toddlers. You also do that for girls, certain ages, boys, certain ages and age brackets. So if you're selling something that meets the market for a certain category, the best Christmas gifts for my parents, right? Or for adults or for children, like depending on who you're gifting to, think about that too, and use this just sort of as an idea bracket and just have some knowledge on what's working now. Because why go against the wave, right? Why try to reinvent the wheel? I say find out what's working and what's out there and roll with that. So keywords and learning about trends is really important. I love YouTube videos and other trainings. I am constantly learning myself and I am constantly teaching myself new things. I have over 100 talks I do. I did not know them all out the gate. I wasn't born with it in my brain. I researched it. I learned it from other people. I found this when I was researching this class previously, and I found it really, really helpful. And he really breaks down the process of finding niches in your category. So I included that link inside this article for you. So when you search things like you were trying to search yourself, if you wish you showed up on the first page for what, right? So landscaping, I don't know, Maryland, or landscaping Eastern Shore, or landscaping whatever county you live in, right? Search what you think someone else might search when looking for you, so that you can have some direction. All right, so really we want to have a plan here, right? And I like things. My personality type is I really like to get things right. And speaking of personality type, let me share this with you because this is just so fun. So when you're building your website and your marketing material and your I'm going to put this in the chat. And when you're building your social media posts and your blogs and your advertising and your brochure and all of the things, you need to think about the words you're using, because words are very important. And again, knowing your market and their wording is really, really important. And you can start capturing some of that, especially if you're connected with some of your customers on LinkedIn. There's great ways to capture what their voice is and what kinds of messages you should be sharing, because there's different personality types and they like different wording, right? And I'm going to say this red one here is almost always who you want to be leading with words wise, because they take action now. Now, a knowledge person is a lifelong customer and they will always be loyal to you. But if they don't take action and it takes them 5 years to finally buy your product and 5 million messages and touches for you to get them, it can be more painful. So if you always lead with always having these kinds of terms from the action position in your marketing, and then make sure you do like an action blueprint message and an action nurturing message and an action knowledge message, then you're going to glean those people from those different personality types that will take action and will buy you within a reasonable time slot. But you're also going to be getting a variety of customer mates, and not just what happens often is we tend to sell to our own personality type best because we use our own words and words that matter to us, right? And so then you're blocking out the opportunity to sell to multiple other personality types. This is a whole nother class. I'm certified in 6 intelligences, and this is a portion of the intelligences, personality intelligence. And I actually taught this class to 40 of Microsoft's executive teams, their leadership team. And I did an overview for them for this, and we probably are going to be extending our contract hopefully to a deeper class level to break down each one of the intelligences. But this is one, and it's about communication and personality. And so when you talk about things being helping them achieve their goals and fun and exciting and that are going to open up the doors for them and, give them a feeling of freedom and excitement. You can do this with a restaurant, a landscape, or a candle. It doesn't matter, or knowledge. Any of these things can have those imagery words in them, those values that really matter to that personality type, and then tie them in saying, and I'm going to include a step-by-step system, or you're going to take my cooking class and I'm going to guide you all the way through. And why do you want to hear the cooking class from me? Because my credentials are, I trained in France under some of the finest chefs and globally, like those are the things that the blueprint person wants to hear. And then you go back and you do the message again, sprinkling in your action words, and say, oh, and we do a community collaboration, and we believe in supporting XYZ cause, and we help our team becomes our part of our family, and we hope you become part of our family. Like, it's this nurturing relationship value, but you sprinkle this in too. And then you do another message, which starts with the values of the action again and goes into this high level. These knowledge people, they're the people who want the white paper, the testimonials, the science behind it. Give them all the data. Okay, they want everything, right? Where your action person does not want all the data, right? So, that's my husband's the Vulcan. That's the knowledge people right there. And they're the awesomest because I happen to be in love with one. But I'm just going to tell you that they want it all. Give me all the details. Tell me how it works. And I'm going to think about it. Most of the time, I'm going to think about it. There are a few action-taking knowledges, but most of them are going to think about it, but they will be with you for life. Once they've made a decision, they've made an educated decision, even though it takes them a little while to get around the bush to get there, right? And then, so if I gave you this link, this is a free link for you to get a really great report for yourself, and it's free. And all you do is you drag the cards to put them in order based on what comes first, right? We're all a little bit of all these things. They all matter to us, but there's an order in which they matter. And that'll give you, when you get that report, that'll give you some insight in yourself so that you can be more careful and thoughtful when you're building your website and your marketing materials of other people's personalities and what words and values matter to them, so that you're making that a part of it. That's really, really important. So naming your business, or names for blogs, or names for your next product, or names for anything, this is my favorite tool. And this is not in the article, and I should have added it, but let me put it in the chat now. This tool is really super fun because we're competing against a lot of noise. Okay. And so having keywords and having the right things, let's just put restaurant, let's put candle in here. And let's see, it's a noun, and we're going to go like this. And did I spell candle right? Who knows? I never spell anything right. So, all right. So this is going to give you, and not all of them are going to make sense, but what I love about it is the A to Z of a candle. Like, that is a really fun blog or article you could write, right? And you could give maybe, 8 things you need to know about how your candle improves your health. Right? Like, how does because it, you get into this place of reducing stress, or, but what I love about this is it's really fun, right? It comes up with ideas for everything. They have ideas around questions, around how-tos, about, some people might skip the sex. I'm not one of those who's going to do that, but there's all kinds of categories here. There's celebrities and secrets. I'm fired. I know I'm going to get in trouble for that one. Sorry. There's snarky and business.
You're fine. We're grown.
motivation, problem solving. They just give so many different ideas that you can use this tool for so many things. And it's outstanding and fantastic. Okay, and then making sure, again, go and meet with Lisa's team, because are you going to be an LLC or not going to be an LLC? You should be consulting at least with a good CPA to get some business consulting before this. And you should register your business with the state and federal and get an EIN number. You should be using a business-based bank account. Otherwise, you could cause challenges for yourself. You need to have insurance for your business, and you need to talk to your insurance agent about what kinds of insurance are important for the kind of business you do. When you're dealing with e-commerce, you're also dealing with cybersecurity and the protection of information that you're gathering and collecting from your clients. If they're purchasing with a credit card, how are you doing that in a safe way? Do you have SSL certification on your website? And all of those things, right? And then choosing a platform. There are so many platforms out there. Another site that I found that was really great. Here's the thing. There's a couple of plus and minuses. I'm a big WordPress person because I own that. I own that platform. It doesn't charge me monthly. I can get plugins to grow with me as I go. And so I don't have to have all the bells and whistles right out the space. But once I add those bells and whistles, it's not going to cost me $300 a month to work with them. So one of the things is buyer beware. So think about if you want to have an affiliate program, if you want to have multiple like what are the limitations? And someone will say, oh, you can just pay $10 or $9 a month. But then when you add all of the things that you want to grow into, you're up to $300 a month. And you have to watch that, okay? So you need to do your homework, and don't be afraid if you've already built something somewhere. You should be able to export your data, excuse me, and then be able to recover that and upload it into a new platform. Sometimes there are benefits of places like Shopify and Wix if they're truly marketing your product for you. Like there's a benefit for me to sell my stuff on Facebook Marketplace, right? Because I get more eyeballs seen there than, buy Jessica Koch's kids leftover toys.com, right? I go to Facebook Marketplace because it's already traffic there, right? But I'm also not paying for that. Facebook Marketplace is free for me to use, right? So you have to think about those things like Etsy, and there's a couple of other ones that what are the other ones that I've been on? There's a ton of them. There's a ton of sites that already have traffic. So you have to weigh the pros and cons. Are you going to pay to drive traffic to a site that's yours? Or are you going to pay a higher price monthly to get traffic? And you also have to make sure that you're not paying more than you're selling. That's really important, right? So, start with places you can sell things for little to no money, and then build up enough sales and strategy and plan that you can justify a high dollar monthly amount for the different tools that you need to use as you build your e-commerce site, right? And so there are lots of suppliers if you're looking to have actual product, and you probably, it's lovely you make your own candles, but there are probably candles you can source for global use. So you could probably it doesn't have to be an either or, right? It doesn't have to be, oh my God, I love making my candles and my candles are so special, but now I'm limited because I am now the producer, shipper. I have to pay the shipping. I have to pack the product. I am the everything in that world, right? And that's okay. You can have certain products on your site that are super exclusive and special and higher priced because you are the packer, the shipper, you're all the things. That's your time. You have to be paid for that. But then you might be able to find a place to source candles that are candle-like products or other products that complement candles that you're not the shipper, provider, builder, creator for, that have a lower price point. So now you have a website and an e-commerce space that has a variety of price points that reflect your time investment. Time and your health are way before money. Okay, so people, health, time, then money, seriously, because what are you going to do if you've got all the time in the world and your health is stinky? and what are you going to do if you got all the health in the world, but you don't have a minute to breathe, right? I mean, so you really have to think about balance, right? Don't give up your passions, don't give up what you love, but there's balance. All right, so products. One of the things I talked about for products is something called, and this is something, again, I could teach a whole class on this. It's called PLR. It's private label rights, where there are products that you can buy already and there's a variety of different private label right accesses. So there are some that'll just let you use it as a freebie, but you can't change it. There are some that'll let you do whatever you want with it, right? There are some that'll, so you need to make sure you're reading the stats on what your rights are when you buy this product. They're usually very inexpensive. The ones I like to buy are the ones that I'm allowed to change the material. So simply they serve for me as a knowledge-based product that I can resell, that I can brand with my name, and I can change it and edit it. It's very important to me for that to be a part of what I'm getting with this with a product. Because then you can add value to it, but you're not starting with a blank paper, right? You're not starting with a blank sheet of, oh my gosh, I need to build a knowledge product to go with my landscaping company because that crazy lady wouldn't stop talking said so. Where do I start with that? Like, where do I start with that? Well, you can find products, knowledge products that are already created that you can buy the rights to, and then you can edit and adjust them and give them your flair and your style and tweak them to speak your voice and to be your product, and then sell that online, and whammo bammo, isn't that good? So private label rights are your friend. And there are also places, a lot of sites that will sell your stuff for you and even have affiliate programs related to them, or even work as a fundraiser for different organizations where you can have your logos, your images, photographs of beautiful flowers and some sort of quote that represents your company printed on them, and then they'll mail them all over the world based on when people buy it, right? So you don't have to hold inventory, you don't have to be a printer, you don't have to be all the things, but then that can be added as part of your product sourcing on your e-commerce site to expand yourself. Okay, affiliate programs. That's the other thing to talk about. The reason I like, and we didn't even get to touch the marketing. Marketing is like a whole nother class. This is my site. When you build your site, consider having an affiliate program right on your site. Make it easy for people to affiliate with you. What does affiliate mean? Affiliate means two things, right? You can affiliate coming and going, right? You can be an affiliate of someone's product and share a link that's custom to you and get paid for it. And you can also have products that have a program set up where other people can get a custom link and promote your product, and then you share with them a piece of it. So affiliates is a two-way street. I'm an affiliate coming and going because that's money both ways, right? I am not leaving any. Did I say I have 7 kids? I am not leaving any money on the table. That is unnecessary. I'm going to get all my money coming and going. So affiliate programs are super good. Okay. Marketing. Oh, OMG. I have a whole other article actually. And let me put that in the thing where I taught recently a class on how to promote their book. Well, a lot of the marketing resources in this class teach. I've done the similar class on how to sell your online course and a similar class on how to sell your book. And so a lot of it is the same kind of stuff. So this will work for a lot of the information and the links I share with you in here will help with a marketing plan. And first of all, before you make a marketing plan, it's really important to decide what are your marketing options. And then you go, okay, I have all these marketing options out there on the planet to market my e-commerce site and my online course or my great recipes or my cooking class or my restaurant, whatever it is. Now, which ones am I going to tackle first? And then go through that, get some knowledge of the over big picture. And then when you learned about some of those different options, and decide, okay, these three really resonate with me and I feel comfortable with them. Let me start with these three. And then you challenge and push yourself to add one more each quarter or each month or whatever the schedule it is that you think you can commit to. Because I told you earlier and I started, if you're not there, they can't find you. If you do not tell them, they cannot know. The third piece to that is, and this is one of my other quotes, I say this every class I teach, if you don't schedule it, it won't happen. So those three things I say every single class I teach, because that is the truth of life, my friend, the truth of success and the truth of business. If you're not there, they can't find you. If you don't tell them, they can't know. And if you do not schedule it, it will not happen. So make sure that you get some knowledge and then make a plan and then schedule it so that you can make it happen in a way that works for you. Get yourself an accountability partner. Get yourself a buddy. It could be one of the consultants in Lisa's office. These people are here for you. They will work with you. They are part of your team now, and it is a gift. You get to work with them. I think for the majority of things without cost. Am I wrong, Lisa? Like, you can become their accountability partner. You can help them build their business plan. You can show them where grants and resources and loans and money is to help them get the resources they need to market and expand. And there's just so much more I could teach you and so many more things we didn't cover. But that happens every time I teach, right?
Yeah, there is one question in the chat. She didn't know if you mentioned anything about drop shipping or.
Yeah, so in one of the links there was some resources for drop shipping, and there are some places that you can, one of the links talked about product accessing. Again, that is, so a drop shipping is its own class. If you wanted to learn specifically about drop shipping and how that works and what sites that do it and who are the providers and who are the suppliers, and buyer beware of this, and it can be done this way or it can be done this way. I mean, drop shipping is a whole nother class. And then also putting your stuff on Amazon, that is a whole nother thing too, because you lose a lot of money when you put things on Amazon. However, they have the market base, right? They have the space. So it's a very challenging space to sell. And it's not my favorite space to sell. So here's what I suggest. So remember how I just showed you how to get private label rights and how to think about getting other products from other people that maybe if you're not making the candle yourself, pick a few items that you would do that way so that you can gather the customers from a site like Amazon, and then interact with them to let them know about the rest of your world that's over here for sale that's not on Amazon. Does that make sense to you? So you want to make sure that you create a few things that are specific for the Amazon relationship, just to get awareness and customers and to be found. And then you market and nurture the relationship with those customers and lead them to your private website that has even more products and more wonderful things, so that you're not sharing everything you sell in the world with Amazon, right? I think that's a mistake when people put every single product they have up on Amazon and they don't hold anything back from themselves, because then they're giving Amazon everything. You want to use Amazon as a way to lead into new relationships, new customers, and bring value to new people into your world, but you don't want to have them run everything, because they're just too greedy. I mean, no offense, but they just take too much of the money. And it doesn't leave you with much. And you heard the profit margins. You heard me listing all the things you need to think about, you need to charge for, including your time. Please do not leave that off the schedule. I mean, would you go work for someone? I mean, if you're here in the United States, I hope you would not go work for someone for $1 an hour. Are you paying yourself $1 an hour or less? That's a problem. You need to think about that. What are you making hourly? What is your value? And that has to be over and above taxes and the cost to have a bookkeeper do your stuff and all the annual fees and all these softwares and all these tools and all the taxes and the affiliates that you want to share with and the causes you want to give to and all of that. It's a lot. So you have to make a substantial amount in order to make it. in the space. Does anybody else have any questions or want to come off camera or unmute and talk to me? Because I'd be happy to help you with anything while we still have a few minutes.
Someone asked if you could put your contact information in the chat
Oh, yeah.
so that they can.
I totally didn't promote myself, did I?
No, you didn't.
I'm so good at that. I'm here on a mission. I'm here to teach. All
Well,
right.
maybe that's an idea we can do for e-commerce 2.0. Or the second session, maybe more about the, what wasn't covered today or shipping. or
Well, we
something like
definitely
that.
need to talk about things like more information on things like PLR and more information about product sourcing and more information on marketing, because there's so many more ways they can market. But we didn't get to touch on that. And I think marketing is the #1 key.
Okay,
Yeah, for sure.
well, we can maybe try to make that happen, Jessica. If when we have time, we'll have to talk and
Yeah.
we can come up with a time for that, like a second session. Would
Thank
you
you.
guys be interested in that?
Yeah.
Okay, so she can talk more about marketing and things
Absolutely.
that she didn't get to cover today.
Thank you for your kind words in the chat, Veronica. I appreciate it. If there's anything you guys want to, maybe is there something that you love that you learned today, or if you're able to get off mute and say something about the class, that would be awesome.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, my name is June Johnson, and I've been listening intently, and I haven't quite figured out on my laptop. So I'm revealing this because I'm in a safe spot. I get, no judgment zone. I haven't quite figured out how to send a chat. I've been playing with it, but it wouldn't go. But I'm interested in the transportation grants that are, being addressed right now. And so I'm looking at a transportation piece of it all. So this was, and I've never had a business, but I'm retired. So I'm looking for that niche that will allow me to work with public and do my own schedule. So this was a great beginning place for me. You gave me a lot of resources. I'm that one that, will go into the links and read. And I'm warning you now, I probably will have a bazillion questions, but I really appreciated this. This gave me lots of things to think about. And I also want to know, is there a way we can receive the PowerPoint presentation in our whatever, or however you're gonna,
Yeah, we can send
share
you the
it?
recording. We'll send you everything that she said today. It'll be on a recording and the whole presentation, yes.
And then
Okay.
also, Lisa, you can email them the links for the articles, because that's the presentation. It's not a PowerPoint today. I used an article
Okay.
presentation format. So they're all in the chat. And so if Lisa wants to email out the video with the links, then you'll have the notes as well as the video to review.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank
glad you
so much.
enjoyed it, June. I think your first step is meeting with one of Lisa's team members and building out a business plan. Because
Yeah.
we'll be able to answer out a lot of those questions for sure.
Yes.
Thank you again.
Did you want to say anything, Veronica? We'd love to hear from you.
Oh, thank you. I would love to match up with someone from Lisa's office
Mhm.
to help me with my, and a lot of the knowledge that I don't have. I'm finding out new things every single day since I've gotten my building, and it's exhausting, all the things that I don't know.
Mhm.
Some of the things in that regard would be amazing.
Okay, did you write my email down? So you just email me and
Yes.
we'll connect.
Direct.
And I'll give you a call.
Yes, I
Tamika-
definitely write that down, and your phone number and extension.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Tamika, did you want to share anything that you saw in the class?
Hi, thank you for having this session. The things that I did that stood out for me, I kind of wrote a couple of little notes down if I can find them, was really like the affiliate program on the website itself. Like I sell courses, and I've been teaching for about 12 years or so. But having like affiliate programs on websites and things like that, that was the point that, because I do have a website and everything done, but that was the point that kind of stuck out to me as well. So I don't know. It's something I'm learning. I'm learning every day with the business. So
Absolutely, absolutely. And, I have the virtual assistant agency because you don't have to learn everything. You just need to hire people to outsource. But I also have a course on my site on how to hire your own VA. And so you can hire someone who can help create your landing pages and help you build your website out and help you do all these things. And sometimes you can just, you can really find some wonderful people globally that are just a few dollars an hour. But there's a whole how to do that correctly too. And I have a class for that on my site. And I think we've done some classes with Lisa before on, what to do in the space of the world of virtual assistants, because, we really don't have to learn all these things. You have to know enough. You have to have a plan. You have to run your company, but you don't have to be all of the functions of your company.
Mhm.
So
that's
so
my
that's-
biggest issue.
yeah, that's important to know. And most people think, oh, I can't afford that. Well, when I first started my consulting agency, I only had 2 or 3 clients. And true story, my 11-year-old, she's 11 now, but she was younger then. And she had a bunch of toys and clothes and things that we weren't using around the house. I sold them on Facebook Marketplace. I made several $100s, and I used that money as a nest egg for my VA so that I was not doing everything. So I didn't have to feel guilty or worry about the revenue or getting, going or borrowing or putting it on credit or stressing myself out. But then I could also not have to do all the things or figure it all out or learn it all or know it all, because I could find people that knew how to do those things better than me. So you really can do it. Even my online class is $127. It's not a very expensive, and you can learn what to do and what not to do when you hire someone virtually to support you. I think it's Chriselle had a question on price as well. You want to unmute yourself and ask your question? Okay.
Yes, I do. I currently run the candle business, and I've made linen sprays, and I'm in the process of making, going to start selling the candles and things like that. I've been doing wax melts. So I appreciate that. But I've been getting feedback that my price is too low.
Well, yeah, and you heard what I was saying. When you're making them yourself and shipping them yourself, that should be a much higher price product than if you're sourcing it somewhere else and you're just kind of the reselling and taking some of the revenue, right? And there are places you can get things that complement your products, because it sounds like you have a high level quality, amazing something that's special for you. But you need, in my opinion, with something that's labor and time intensive, and since you're all the things, you're buying it, making it, and selling it, and then packaging and shipping it, and you're all the things, then you need something on your site that offsets that, so that you can have understand your value, understand the cost of doing business, understanding the fact that it needs to be this price. And you could look at it and go, oh, I'll lose all my customers. That'll be too expensive for them. And then what, you're going to work for 50 cents an hour or for free? You don't want to do that. That's wrong. And your customers don't want you to do that. So you have the high end, high quality, high touch, high time requirement product on your site. But then you also have other things that require almost nothing from you. They can click and buy, and it gets shipped to them, and all you did was make some money. Okay, because you've already established a client base and a following who like you and value you. you know, and then you give education. I told you, first and foremost, you're an educator. You give education on the quality of the product that you're producing and why the value is there and why the pricing is what it is. If people understand that, then they get what they're getting, they're willing to pay more. And also, if you connect it to, you know, a 50 cents of every product or $1 of every product is going to XYZ cause, they're willing to pay more. I go to the places often, if I buy Christmas presents for adult women or adults in my life, I like to go to the sites that support women in other countries who are creating beautiful craftsman baskets and purses and jewelry and things, because it helps keep them out of poverty. And I will pay more for those products because I know I'm doing something good too. I'm giving a gift and I'm doing something good. So when you tie something like that, it's called cause marketing, at least I call it cause marketing, where you tie something amazing to your product and you spell that out in your pricing. Transparency and being authentic with your customers goes a long way for them to dig deeper in their pockets when need be. Because I mean, truly, you're running a business. You're not running a nonprofit, I hope. Did that help a little bit? Sometimes it's a confidence thing more than a pricing problem, right? It's a fear factor. Don't let fear get in the way. The universe will send you the right people for that. Do you know how much people pay for purses? You know, think about that. In shoes, right? And they justify that. Can they get a $10 pair of shoes somewhere? Yeah. Do they want that? No. That's not what those people want. And so then you have to also think about, how do you speak that language and attract the people who are willing to make high level investments in quality products. Don't shop to the person who wants a candle from the dollar store, because they could go to the dollar store and buy one, you know? So that's not your market.
Thank you, because I had because somebody had purchased something and they were like, I mean, this bottle should be like $25, and I'm like, what in the world? But like you said, as far as the confidence piece, being able to understand, stop worrying about losing the customer, but that was and focus on your actual who you're trying to market to.
Well, think about this too. You'll lose all your customers if you don't raise your prices, because you won't be a business anymore, you know, and you don't want to lose all your customers. So you lose all your customers if you do not price yourself correctly. That's what will happen in the end. What's the big picture? You know, what good can you do for the world and for your current customers if your doors are shut because you're paying to give them a candle, basically? Because if you don't cover your expenses and have a profit, then you suddenly are now paying to give your customers candles instead of them paying you. You see?
You know what I did when I had an issue with charging customers too much, because I just want my customers to be really happy and have like the best products. But it was like I had to fight myself for it. But what I actually did was took the items like my spice grinder. I have a mortar, like the mortar spice grinder.
Mm-hmm.
I took that item and I looked it up on like 10 websites and got an average price for it. And I priced it $2 under so that it would still be a better price, but still meeting the market price. So I'm not cutting myself short. So like if you look at candles and you're like the kind of candles that you have in your market, but just price them still under those, you'll be happy and they'll be happy because they're still getting them cheaper than they can buy them.
But I would suggest you searching high-end candles, you know, you want to see what's the top of the market, and then just price yourself just under the top of the market, not the bottom of the market. But it's a very good suggestion, you know, cost comparison and some good insight, Veronica.
Not always, but in the beginning I did that just to get a lot of clients, just to get as many customers as I can, just like, oh my God, we love that. And it was the low price, they love it. Now they're addicted to it. So it's like,
Yeah, but
right.
what's even better is a higher price and then the ability to affiliate it. So when they refer you, they get a little bit of the revenue, and a little bit of revenue is going to a cause. That gets them very excited to share it with other people when they see dollars coming back too. So that's another thing to think about. You got to price it so that you can do that. We're way over, and I have
Yeah, Jessica, I know you gotta go, and I do too. Have another meeting, but there was just a couple other questions. So if you can reach out, you can email either those directly to Jessica or to me. And then we can reach back out, but we do have to another meeting right after this. So we will talk about doing another session, but stay tuned on our website. We do have a couple. We have another class tomorrow. It's bookkeeping for your small business. It's from 12 to 1. That's a 2-part. It's tomorrow. And then the follow-up session, the second part is November 7th with Maxine Whitelock of Max's Taxes. So there'll be very good information. If you're looking for any kind of bookkeeping information, please register. And thank you again, Jessica, for all your wonderful knowledge, sharing it with us. And we'll try to make another class happen. So guys, keep checking our website. If you're not on our newsletter list, be sure to sign up for that. And you can do that right on the website as well. Or shoot me an email, let me know, and I'll sign you up. That way you'll know when we have workshops coming, and you don't always have to keep checking it. You'll get an email blast or an email with the newsletter. So, all right. Well, thank you guys.
And I saw that the notary asked me some things. So just email me. You have my email address, and I'd be happy to chat with you and see if I can help you.
All right. Sounds good. Have a good day.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
I'll be praying for you on your workshop today, Jessica.
Thank you.
I know you'll do wonderful.
Bye.
Yeah.
I hang up my phone.